Hello and welcome to Geeks of the Round. I'm your host, Matt Moore. We're also going to have a co-host of Deano Jackson in just a little bit. He's having a hard time with his camera. But we're going to forge on ahead. We are discussing Season 7 premiere of Game of Thrones, which I think is kind of awesome. Let's introduce our other two panelists. Let's start with Charles. Say hi, everyone. Say hi to Charles. Say hi, Charles.
Hello, everyone. Yes, we're back. After how many years now?
It's not been years. It's been a year and a half, I think.
It's been a year since the last Game of Thrones discussion.
Okay, see? There we go. And say hi to everyone, Lou.
What up?
There we go. All right, so, all right, I forgot. What was the name of this particular episode?
Dragonstone.
Dragonstone, which is actually, I kind of think is a good place to start because Dragonstone was mentioned a few different times from a few different perspectives here. Sam ended up finding out a bit about Dragonstone, and we got introduced to Dragonstone through Cersei Lannister. Or Cersei Lannister, I'm sorry. It's been so long since I've done these hangouts. I'm a little out of it. Through Daenerys Stormborn. So Daenerys finally lands on like solid ground at Dragonstone, and I think that is a perfect place for her to start invading the rest of Westeros. What do you guys think?
I agree. It's just when she first landed on the beach, that place, at first I didn't know what it was. I mean, I didn't immediately recognize it until she went into the war room with that like map with all the little figures. And I was like, wait a minute, that's where Stannis was when he was still alive, when he was organizing his war. And I was like, what's the name of this? Oh, Dragonstone. And I was like, oh, cool. It's perfect. It was very fitting for Daenerys to go there. And I just thought that was nice for her to basically go to one of her ancestral homes.
Yeah, and that's just it, is each of the major families have their kind of like have their own castles that are outside of where they hang out at the Red Keep. Like the Lannisters have
Westerly Rock?
Yes, Casterly Rock.
Casterly Rock, yeah, that's right, yeah. I said Westerly because I was thinking about Killjoys, but never mind.
And basically, that was the Targaryen one, is Dragonstone. So while Rhaegon and family and Aegon and all of them were all in the Red Keep, they still had their ancestral home at Dragonstone. And so that is exactly where Daenerys should be.
Well, that's where she's from. That's where she was born.
Yeah.
But the thing is that what Sam discovered while he was at the Citadel is that there is a crap ton of veins of dragon glass at Dragonstone, and Daenerys doesn't know about it, but Jon Snow will know about it as soon as Sam sends out a raven. So is that going to I would assume that it's going to cause Jon and his army to go south, to go towards Dragonstone to sort of find, well, not sort of, but find the dragon glass, and that might lead to either a conflict with Daenerys, or they might come to an agreement and share the dragon glass. And they might become allies.
Well, first off, I just want to point out that is actually a callback to a Season 5 episode, is because of the fact that after Sam had killed the White Walker, he ended up mentioning that to Jon, and Jon's all like, well, we need to arm ourselves with that. And Sam's all like, I got a bag of them. And that's just it. Is Jon's all like, we need more than a bag. We need a mountain. He literally said that he needed a mountain of dragon glass. And what does Sam do? He goes and finds a fucking mountain of dragon glass.
Yes, he does.
Well, he was also told, because he referenced it in the episode, that Stannis told him about it, but I don't think he believes Stannis too much because, you know.
Yeah. And
but he sees it in the book. Stannis' words, he's like, oh shit, it's actually true. So now he has to get that raven out to Jon.
Yeah, but the question is that is he going to be able to get access to a raven because he's still just an apprentice at the Citadel? I mean, come on. They ain't
no apprentice. He's a shit grabber.
Yeah, I was about to say that. They literally have him clean out the bed pants by hand.
And that's just it. Is I think that I was actually thinking about that, and I'm thinking that every prospective Meister probably does that for a few months, if not a year.
Well, when I saw him doing that, I was like, you know what? The reason why they're doing this is to teach him some kind of humility.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Fuck humility. That was disgusting.
But it was disgusting, but there was a purpose to it.
What, to clean shit?
There was a lesson in what he was doing.
Okay, yeah. What was the lesson?
And he was
going to food look like shit while he was collecting shit.
He was going to keep doing it until he figured out what that lesson was.
No. I mean, if you're gonna talk lessons, the lessons is that it's a life of servitude, not just cleaning the shit, but even as a Meister, you work for a king, you work for a noble. It is a life of servitude, and that is probably what that whole thing is about. If it is about anything at all, other than someone needs to do this fucking job.
Yeah. It could have been both.
There's a lesson. That's the lesson.
Yeah.
Now,
but
I don't remember the girl's name. That's with Bran.
Gilly.
But
wait, no, not Bran. I know her family name is Reed. Her family name is Reed.
Arlene.
Hold on. You know what? Google is my friend. I will look it up.
Well, regardless
Charles,
of what her name is.
Who remembers names? This is your job.
Mira Reed.
Mira. I was nowhere close.
Yeah. Mira Reed. Meera. Mira.
But what about Mira Reed?
She's carrying a Valyrian steel sword.
Yes, she is.
It's rusty as shit, but she's carrying it. It looks Valyrian when they showed that one shot of her, because granted, she was only in this episode for like 3 minutes, her and Bran.
Yeah.
And when she had the side view, you saw a clear glimpse of the sword, and it looks Valyrian. So I believe she's got one of the first Valyrian steels ever constructed.
I was gonna say I don't think Valyrian steel does rust. I don't think it can.
It's probably just dirty and it needs to be polished.
Okay.
Remember, it was just standing in that corner for a long time in that tree.
There are a couple things. I know that Mira and Sam, those particular storylines don't really mix, so that was kind of a non sequitur. However, it does mix. The reason being is because of the fact that when Sam was going through that book that he wasn't supposed to be going through, there are a couple interesting things in there. One, they showed the dagger that Tyrion was accused of having and giving to an assassin to kill Bran with back in season 1. That dagger is actually in the book, and that's a Valyrian steel dagger.
And it will be making an appearance at some point this season.
Yes, and it will be making an appearance most likely on Arya, because she was shown on the cover of frickin' Entertainment Weekly with that dagger on her side. We also see, because there were people who actually screenshot and zoomed in, there is also mention of a possible cure to the dragon scale. Don't know if that is actually canon, or because, like I said, someone had to zoom in for that shit, or if it was just
he'll be cured.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we saw when we saw him reach his arm out of his cell, we saw how far gone it was. I mean, it may be too late.
No, it's not.
That's just it. Is there was a character, and I forgot the name of the character. I've been reading about Game of Thrones all day today. There is a character who had actually ceased the progression of their dragon scale, and that's just it. Is what the
but so did Stannis did it to his daughter.
Yeah. What they say is that the cure is ground up dragon glass. However, the book also has the word gullible in it as well, so it might be like only gullible people would fall for this. But as we've seen in both this episode and the last episode of season 6, the Meisters at the Citadel don't know everything there is to know. Like, they think the White Walkers are fake. They think
but
they didn't know.
You heard the response to that was the main Meister believed them, but he's like, well, everyone else just thinks I'm lying. He goes, well, that's their job.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on there.
Yeah, their job is to question everything and only take facts that they know. But yeah, so we might have a cure for Dragon Scale or whatever the fuck it's called. We might have a recipe on how to make Valerian steel, like, which I'm gonna guess is also dragon glass.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I think it is. That's my theory. Is it's regular fucking steel with dragon glass in it. That's my theory.
It has to be blended. It has to be blended perfectly.
It's like they put they put like ground up dragon glass in the melted metal before they cast it.
Yeah, exactly. That's my theory. Is all it is something we already know kills White Walkers. Just put it into a weapon.
Mm-hmm. Weaponized dragon glass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we don't know if that's true, but it would be kind of cool if it were.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'd be the simplest answer.
Now, do you think we're going to find out this season?
I'm sure we're going to find out this season. I will say that we'll probably find out a lot of that stuff by episode 3, like not even halfway through the season.
Okay.
The problem is, do we have enough time to forge steel and mix it with dragon glass? That's where the question lies.
Considering that each one of these episodes has a time jump before the episode, yes, absolutely. Because how much time had passed between, in the middle of the season finale last year, you had Varys come all the way back from fucking Dorne to be on the boat in time to go back to Dragonstone. Like, there are these huge time jumps during this TV show.
There's just, they know how to they just use light speed on boats.
That's it.
Yes. It's Star Wars mixed with Game of Thrones. Okay,
hey.
But let's see. But okay, I have to bring this up. The cameo in this episode.
I didn't have a problem with it.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't really bothered by it either, but at the same time, I kind of thought, was there really a purpose to it? I mean, or was it just a celebrity that loved Game of Thrones so much that he talked the producers into letting him have a cameo just for the sake of having a cameo?
Well,
actually, I think it's the other way around.
Apparently, his is not the first musician who's done this. He's like the third major musician.
Who were the other two?
I don't remember. Again, I was reading a bunch of articles, but I'll look it up while I continue to talk. As an old guy, though, I was just pleased with myself that I recognized who the fuck he was. Because I don't Ed Sheeran. I mean, I've heard him. I don't dislike him. I think he's actually a really good singer. And I like the idea that apparently he wasn't a singer at first. He used to be horrible at singing, and he just worked at it and worked at it and worked at it. And I think that's cool. But I don't listen to his music. So when I saw him and I recognized him, I'm all like, holy fuck. I'm like a third more cooler. That doesn't make me cool. I'm just, a little bit closer.
Well, the thing is, I don't even listen to his music and I recognize him.
Well, would have made that cameo a little better, honestly, would have been the fact that if they would have gave him 1 or 2 more lines besides the singing lines.
Well,
because he just sat there and smiled at Arya the whole time. Like, yeah, girl, I want to jump your bones.
Oh, that's just creepy.
Apparently,
she's of age.
I know she is, but it's still creepy.
Apparently, the lines he sang were the lines that were actually put in the book. Apparently, those were directly from the book.
Cool. Whenever we get that fucking book.
I like how when one of the Lannister soldiers asked Arya why are you going to King's Landing, and she just looked at him with a straight face and said, "Oh, I'm going to kill the queen." And they all pause, and then they all start busting out laughing. I'm like, wow, Wow, I looked at the
Yeah,
TV. I looked at the TV and I said, like, you guys have no idea how serious she is.
Yeah, but you got to understand, those are all kids.
Yeah.
Now, if those were adults that have been through war and all this and that, they might have taken that as a more serious threat. We know it's a threat, but to them, these are all kids that really just want to go back home to their families.
Yeah, they want to go home to their families. So I don't know.
Okay, I've got a list here. I've got a list.
Okay.
A band by the name of Animal Circus has a member called Joel Fry. He was in multiple episodes. William Champion, who is with Coldplay, was in The Reigns of Castamere. Wilco Johnson, who's with the band called Dr. Feelgood, was in multiple episodes, first and second season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Jesus Christ. A lot of musicians have been on Game of Thrones.
Wow. Huh.
Let me see. I think I saw a band that I actually listened to. Let me back up. My computer's being slow because I'm doing multiple things. I thought I saw The Doors on one of them. Oh, no. It was the episode The Door. Okay, that makes sense.
Hold the door.
But yeah, let's see. Mastodon, Michael Huseman. Anything else that I recognize? It doesn't look like it though. But yeah, a lot of musicians have fucking been on it. And apparently a lot of the actors and well, not a lot, but a few of the actors and actresses are also musicians, like the woman who plays Melisandre. And
yeah, I knew she was a singer. I knew that the woman that played the I call her the red bitch. Yeah, she I knew she was a Dutch singer. She is like really popular in the Netherlands. And then Ramsay, I had no idea he was a musician.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, like I remember him from Misfits, and I think he did some music on Misfits.
Okay.
But yeah, apparently a lot of musicians.
Mm.
Okay. That must be one hell of an update. That computer must have been off for a year.
I don't even have Hangouts open, so I don't know what he's talking about. Let me see.
But yeah, we're still waiting for Diano. But we're good. Apparently, fucking Windows has an update. Gotcha. All right, so we talked about Sam. I actually probably want to get back to Sam a little later because there's a little more there. We talked a little bit about Daenerys.
What about Arya wiping out the Frey?
That was an amazing way to start the fucking season.
Yes, it was.
You would think that she would just be like, all right, I killed that motherfucker. Let me go to the next person on the list.
Nope.
No. She when she does something, she does it fucking right.
She's thorough.
She ended up killing every single major fucking Frey out there. Like, there is no more Freys other than, like, second cousins and shit.
Yeah.
And she did it all by herself. Oh, wait. She did leave a wife and I think a daughter.
Yeah, but that was more to tell the story.
Yeah, that was more to tell the story. And let's face it, they're not going to be Freys for too much longer because the wife is probably going to remarry and the daughter's going to marry, and so they won't be Freys. So she essentially wiped them all out.
Yep.
And that was just so fucking amazing. That's just it. Is in the opening scene when I start seeing, because they start with just a little bit of him. You start to see his jacket and all that. I'm like, that can't be Walder Frey. Walder Frey is fucking dead. Then you start to see his face, and I'm all like, motherfucker, that's Walder Frey. And are they doing a flashback?
Yeah, I thought it was a flashback too.
Talking, and I'm all like, wait a second here. this guy is actually kind of being nice. That's not Walder Frey.
Well, no. What kind of made me realize that it wasn't a flashback is when he mentioned in his speech that winter has come, because before he was killed, winter hadn't come yet.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was like, okay, this is definitely not a flashback. And then he removed the mask, and I was like, holy shit, that's Arya.
Yeah.
Remember, everything we're thinking about it as where it takes place right after it ended last season, but events have transpired and went forward, and the way they structured the episode, it makes you think that. But we got to say, at least a month has gone by. Arya wearing that goddamn mask to get her poison and all that shit.
That's just it. Is she mentioned that this was the second feast in a fortnight, which means that it had happened within the same week.
Oh, so at least a week has went by.
What's that?
At least a week has went by.
No, less than a week. A fortnight, I think, is 4 days.
I'll look that up. Fortnight?
Let's see.
Period of 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. Okay. But yeah, apparently they had this was the second feast in 2 weeks, and you better believe that she did not host the first one, because if she did, she would have killed him then.
Oh no, Walder Frey hosted that one.
Yeah.
And then he got killed the next day while eating his son.
Yep.
Yummy.
And
finally, you were able to join.
Want to introduce? We have our other host, Deano Jackson, who is finally got the computer up and running. How are you doing, Deano?
Yeah, finally I got the shit up and running. It's like no else I use this shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on with this shit. Windows needed an update. Awesome. Fantastic.
That's what happens when you don't use your computer.
I absolutely love the cold opening of this episode. Fucking Arya getting at work. Fucking like she killed a Water Gray, and then she killed all the rest of the Grays. Awesome.
Yeah. Which I thought was pretty cool. We have also already covered the Ed Sheeran cameo, and we also covered pretty much everything Dragonstone and Sam's book. Just to keep.
Yes, it's like the no, it's like that's cool. It's like the Ed Sheeran cameo. It's like when that happened, I didn't understand that big of a deal of it until I read like other posts and shit like that. And for me, it was just a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Arya came across as yeah, that's all it should have been, in the first place.
I do know that he has red hair, so he's probably somehow related to the Starks.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Let's go with that. Or actually, I should say the Tullys, because I think Sansa, or not Tully, Tyrells, because I think Sansa gets her hair from the Tyrell side.
Yeah,
it's not the Tyrells.
Oh, then it's the Tullys. I get that mixed up.
The Tyrells were Marjorie's family.
Oh,
Highgarden.
Yeah.
Then yeah, the Tullys.
Yeah, the Tullys. Because I remember that Sansa, Caitlin Stark, she came from a family where the fish was their symbol, and that was the Tullys.
The blackfish.
The blackfish, yeah.
Like, have we mentioned on the show yet? It's like, I'm sorry because I'm late coming in. For those of you that don't know, I mean, those of you watching, I'm executive producer of Decent Round. But can we just mention right quick how awesome Charles Whedon's internet is right now? Let's go ahead and look at this, yes? We can see him clearly. He's not pixelated or any shit like that. He's fucking amazing.
I was gonna say, I can see the wood grain behind him. I can see that he has a stray fucking cord off on his wall. I can see the hair on the mole on his right cheek.
I can see that too. It's a thing. It is a thing. Charles Wheaton probably got like a gigabit internet, and fucking he's doing amazing with it, streaming and shit. Hey, Charles, real quick, how about you go ahead and plug your Twitch channel?
Oh, I'll plug my Twitch channel. Sure. I do stream on occasion on twitch.tv where my name is Charles in Charge. That's spelled Churrles. And it's a reference to the old 1980s sitcom Charles in Charge, because my whole life my name has been a part of that joke my whole freaking life. So I'm like, whatever, might as well capitalize on it. So yes, now I took a little break over the weekend on the whole streaming, but I do plan on streaming again tomorrow night, probably around 8:30, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Perfect. And you're going to be streaming Secret World?
Yeah, Secret World Legends.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Perfect.
I was going to say, and one of the reasons that it's such a big deal that he has such good internet is because of the fact that he had such crap internet for the better part of the last decade, if not.
No. Like, you're being awfully correct and apparently not cussing and shit. I don't know what the deal is. Charles had shit internet. He had the fucking shittiest internet, like, in the history of internets. I mean, you want to talk dial-up? Fuck you. I mean, like, this dude had, like I don't know, 2 cans connected via a string internet. That's what this motherfucker had. And now he stepped his game up, and finally got the fucking awesome internet. I am happy for you, Charles.
You have fiber. You have fiber. What, 2 gigabit or something like that, or 1?
No. I did as soon as I got the internet hooked up, we did a speed test, and my download speed can go all the way up to about 287 megabits down, and my upload speed is about 82 megabits up.
Suck my dick. Like, he's got better internet than I do at this point. Fuck you, Charles.
No. Seriously, Deano, do the math. He literally has more internet than the rest of us combined.
I'm aware of that.
We're pulling 120 together. I'm gonna guess that Lou is not pulling another 1 to exceed his 280.
No, I pull 50 up, 50 down.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like I did take a moment to recognize Charles for having awesome internet, because I do think it's amazing, even though I'm jealous, obviously.
Yeah.
Because Charles, honestly, fuck you and the horse you're running on.
He rode in on a dragon.
Yeah. But let's get back to the rest of this shit. Okay,
all right.
So
let's see.
Not covered before I came here.
We covered Arya. So from there, where should we go?
All we have left is
Cersei. Let's just be very bummed like right here. Okay. So the first episode of this season of Game of Thrones was honestly more about just introducing us to all the characters and kind of seeing where they're all at right now. Because like from the last season, a lot of shit changed. And it was a major change because obviously from last season, it was the first season that we've had that were not backed up by the books.
Yeah.
So a lot of
still
shit
not
happened
backed up by the books.
Yeah, we're still not. Yeah, exactly what Lou said. So now it's like we're all in undiscovered territory. Whereas, and that's what I liked about last season and season 2, is that as a reader of the books, I knew everything that was going to happen up until last season. So like last season alone, and particularly now, I have no fucking idea what's going to happen. And that's been a really cool thing for this, just for me, honestly, because
you'll be you'll be legitimately surprised for like anything crazy happens. You won't see it coming, so you'll have a legitimate reaction. You won't like say like, "Oh, I knew that was coming," kind of like what happened with the Red Wedding.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the Red Wedding, I knew that shit was coming. It's like, I mean, my ex-girlfriend is like, I recorded her reaction for the Red Wedding because I knew that was going to happen in the episode. And even the ending of episode 5, season 5, I remember Matt and I watching that together, and I called exactly how that season would end because I mean I read the books. It's like I knew that season would end with Jon Snow's death.
But you didn't know this season would start with a fucking slaughtering.
Yeah, Arya got that work. Arya got that work. She got that work.
And she almost sized up all those fucking soldiers too. Like, okay, where y'all swords at? Oh, I got you, motherfuckers.
Yeah. That's just it. I was waiting. I was waiting for one of them to say something even slightly creepy. Because the second that happened, that motherfucker, and probably all those motherfuckers, would have been dead. If one of them said something like, "So, hey, little girl, where are you sleeping tonight?" All those motherfuckers would have been dead.
Oh yeah, it's like, I mean, Arya. I have loved watching Arya's character arc from the beginning of the show. From now, it's like, I mean, because from the beginning of the show, she was kind of this little weakling, and now she is this hardcore motherfucking killer. Like, she will fuck you up. Do not fuck with Arya Stark. You don't want to be the one.
And then wear your face.
But the question I have about Arya being as much of a badass as she is, she received that training from the Faceless Men. So I'm concerned that maybe the Faceless Men will get fed up with how she's using her skills, and they might swoop in and try to stop her from doing it.
I am convinced that everything she is doing is in the name of the Faceless Men as far as the Faceless Men are concerned. I am convinced that she passed her training. Her walking the fuck out and being like, "I'm out here, drop mic." I'm positive that was the final test.
Okay.
And
I'm pretty honestly as well.
I don't think we'll ever hear from the Faceless Men again.
Oh no, I'm sure we're going to see them at least one more time over the course of this season and possibly next season.
No, because you got to figure the wall's got to come down.
What I mean is from like the beginning of this season to the end of next season, we will see him possibly one more time.
I agree.
Yeah,
but it's like, as far as stars are concerned, let's shift things a little bit and let's talk about the interaction between Jon Snow in that meeting. Yes,
that's actually where I was going next. Yeah.
Okay, and I got to admit, when I saw when I heard what Sansa was saying to Jon, she was basically questioning his authority in front of all of his men, and I was like, dude, don't do that shit.
Yeah,
do not do that shit.
Exactly. No, I'm totally cool with Sansa being an advisor to Jon. That's cool.
Yeah.
But her questioning him in front of the like in the middle of a fucking audience with the rest of the North.
Yeah.
That's not okay. And
but we all know honestly, who took command of that room. Command of that room went to Lady Mormont.
Yeah,
it really did.
Oh, definitely.
There's
no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But I like the way that all that played out, because at first I kind of thought that that Sansa would kind of be in like not a villain, I guess, but sort of an antithesis to Jon Snow. Like given how the way that scene that went down. But the thing that happened afterwards, when they talked and actually, kind of figured out this shit, it's like I do like the way that played out, because Jon Snow and Sansa have been through very different shit. From the beginning of Game of Thrones. And I truly feel that, given what he's been through, and Sansa, given what he's been through, if he listens to Sansa, it can be good. But she needs to stop questioning him in open court. That shit was not cool. But I do like the way that Jon handled that shit. He's like, okay, this is how things are going down, and my decision is final. It's like there was a subtext there. It's like, Sansa, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I like what John did, where Sansa basically wanted to give those ancestral homes away to families that were loyal, but John was like, no, you shouldn't blame the sons and the daughters for the crimes or the sins of the fathers or of the parents. You shouldn't do that, and I full-heartedly agree with that. And I like how John gave the two kids a second chance to pledge their loyalty. I really did like that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be real.
I also like how that whole thing went down. Is yes, Sansa did question John in front of everyone else, and that is bad. However, it made him look stronger because of the fact that he was basically able to go, "Look, bitch, I got this." That's basically what John did. And that made him look stronger because he basically put his foot down even with his own family.
Yeah, but he got his boy to go take over that new castle. He's like, I guess we're the Night's Watch.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if I were, let's say I lived in the north, on like the west-hand side of the north, away from where all the action is, and I was like a farmer or some shit, I would have been like, there's a free castle up there. I'm going to move into
the Yeah, you move into the castle, then you don't realize what's coming. We'll wipe you out in a second and then make you part of his army.
Yeah, but who cares, because that same person's going to wipe you out anyway, even if you're not in the castle.
You got a better chance away from the castle. You can start running.
And that was my problem with Dragonstone. I guess I kind of had a problem with Dragonstone, is that they showed up to this fucking awesome castle, and they just walked the fuck in. They didn't knock. They didn't have anyone check it out. They didn't have, like, an army go up there to make sure there's no, like, raiders like hanging out there or anything. Like, they just fucking walked in, dibs. Basically, that's what they did. Dibs.
Well, they did what you wanted.
This is my castle, bitch. Targaryens, motherfucker.
What?
Yeah. Seriously, like,
you know how that whole
there were
particular
like two
scene
people in front of Daenerys. If there was some sort of brigand or something like that, who's like, who's these motherfuckers rolling up to my castle? She'd be dead.
Well, we do know there's one person there. She's just not revealing herself yet.
There's one person there?
The red bitch.
Melisandre.
Oh, she went to Dragonstone?
That's probably
she's in Dragonstone, because when we got that very first trailer for Game of Thrones, you see her looking down while Daenerys is walking up Snake Way to get up into the castle, but yet we didn't see her in this episode. So she's somewhere in that castle lurking.
It makes sense that she went to Dragonstone, because that's where she was when Stannis was organizing his whole attack on King's Landing. So it's pretty it's the only place
that the dragon glass is there. I'm sorry, Charles. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just going to say, I think since she was like expelled when Jon Snow basically kicked her out, I think Dragonstone is the only place she could go where she could be relatively safe, and that she wouldn't be able to step on anyone's toes. She would be able to live by herself and maybe do her own thing, like maybe build up her own army in the name of the Red God or something like that. I don't know. But
okay,
the Lord of Light.
The Lord of Light.
I've got a question for you. Yeah. I remember when he found the wooden stag toy on the battlefield. Like, I remember that shit because I literally just binged the last season right before this one started. How did he associate that to Stannis killing his daughter? How did that work out in his brain, that me finding this on this battlefield means that Stannis must have killed his daughter?
I want to say he knew how Melisandre was in his ear.
Yeah.
and he figured it out.
The point of that situation is that when he confronted her about doing that, she didn't deny it.
Yep.
True.
She did not deny
I'm
it.
still trying to figure out how that wooden stag ended up on the battlefield.
Yeah.
It wasn't on the battlefield. Remember,
It was on the
he
battlefield.
sacrificed her. No, it wasn't. He sacrificed her where they were camped. He found it at the campsite where they took up again, going to fight Ramsey. That's where he found that little whatever wooden little figure that he made for her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So
She
basically, they were in the same spot. Okay.
She was carrying that toy in her hands when she was being burned, and so he found the stag in the ashes of the actual place where she was burned. That's where he found it.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes a bit more sense.
Yeah.
And I think she tried to play it off like it was Ramsey's men that torched her and all that shit, but as you see, that backfired.
Yeah, it really did, yeah. He was like, no, you sacrificed her to the Lord of Light. Yeah.
Exactly. Let's segue real quick because I kind of want to talk about the Hound right now.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the Lord of Light, yeah.
Exactly. It's like and how far he's come, because I feel that this episode was a really powerful episode from him. Because for those that don't know, the homestead they came across in this episode is a call back to, like, I think season 4, 5, around about.
Season 5.
Yeah.
Season 5? Yeah, thank you.
Traveling with Arya.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the family's death in here. I can't say directly, I guess, but more or less kind of responsible for, and him digging a grave for this father and daughter was a huge stepping stone for him in coming up from what he was into what he could potentially be, and I really liked seeing that.
Now, I got a question since you read the book. Is he the grave digger in the book?
Nothing in this season or the last season has happened in books yet, dude. Because
it was a callback to the grave digger.
There is one thing. Ed Sheeran's cameo, the song is actually from one of the published books.
Yeah, it is.
But that's just it. Is what had happened was the Hound had literally stolen this family's silver. Arya said, "What the fuck, dude?" And he's all like, "Who cares? They're going to be dead by when winter comes anyway." And of course,
that was proven to be true.
Yeah, and that was proven to be true because they didn't have any fucking silver for food.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he hated himself.
Yeah. So the Hound going out and it's like, and it's a very new experience for the Hound, feeling like, guilt over what he did, and like digging the grave for them and burying them was like a huge character development for him. And I honestly like to see that. It's like, because I like the Hound as a character. It's like, there's a real redemption story there if they choose to go with it. I don't know what they're doing with it, but.
Well, what do you think of his story
there?
I also like the fact that they're making the Hound's greatest weakness. It looks like they're actually turning him towards that weakness. Like he looked into.
I don't think so.
It's
one thing to look at fire.
Saw something, which, considering you could say that he was born of fire.
Yeah.
Because he would not have been the bastard that he became, not literal bastard, but he did not become the asshole that he became if he had not been shoved face first into a fucking campfire or a fire place or whatever the fuck it was.
Well, when you have a brother named the Mountain who's a dickhead.
Yes.
Who apparently is a zombie now.
Yes.
Apparently.
I was going to say fucking hit him
walking mountain
and see what fucking happens.
Yeah.
No one wants to talk about that sorry ass show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, the Mountain's new fucking armor and new helmets, like, that was definitely different, but I liked it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought that the armor was closer to the Lannister armor than it was the Kingsguard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's be real. The person who stole that scene was Euron with the, and I still got two good hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that whole scene was like a massive dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
like between him.
Yeah, and the look
that's what it was.
Yeah, the look on Jamie's face was just priceless. He goes like, "What did you just say?"
Yeah, like I feel like Jamie was about to fuck him up.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm like between two of them, I like Jamie Lannister.
I was gonna
But
say,
you realize Euron also sized up the mountain. He just looked at him like, "Okay, I understand, buddy. I'm gonna back up now."
now I have a question. I'm hoping for theories here. Euron says that he's going to come back with a gift that Cersei won't be able to ignore. What do we?
Sand snake.
Huh?
It's gonna be the Mama Sand Snake.
I'm thinking he's going for Tyrion.
He's not getting Tyrion. It's gonna be the Mama Sand Snake.
Yeah, yeah, okay. One of the others, because it's going to be something that she really, really wants, and it's either going to be Tyrion, which, yeah, it's like I agree she's not going to get because Tyrion is very, very well protected, or it's going to be the Mama Sand Snake.
It's gonna be the Mama Sand Snake, and I don't remember, but she will bite the dust, and I think Mama Tyrell bites the dust as well.
Okay.
And I believe Mama Tyrell is going to tell Jamie. If not Jamie, then she's going to tell Cersei that she was the one who killed Joffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now that would be interesting.
Yes, it would. It'd be very interesting because it could change the whole dynamic between Cersei and Tyrion.
No,
Oh fuck no! That's not going to change. She hates him.
I know. Look. No. It's not like they're gonna like hug each other and say like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." That's not gonna happen. No. I think it's gonna. I think
it will change for her is she won't blame him for the death of her son, but she sure enough still blames him for the death of her father.
Oh yeah. But the thing is that Cersei hated her father anyway. She hated her father even when he was alive. So she doesn't care about that.
She doesn't.
She didn't want him dead.
Same way that she hates Tyrion. I mean, remember when Tyrion was on trial for Joffrey's death?
Yeah.
Tyrion's response was, "I didn't kill him, but I fucking wish I did. If I could have every single one of you motherfuckers dead and I died too, I'd be okay with that." Like he wishes the entire Lannister fucking family dead, and he said that loudly and proudly in front of a bunch of fucking people. So
everyone except Jamie, I would believe.
Well, the thing is that even with his hatred towards most of the Lannister family, he still loved his brother until he killed Tywin. When he killed Tywin, that destroyed the relationship between him and Jamie. It destroyed it. I mean, Jamie said it. Jamie said it himself last season, saying that if he saw Tyrion again, he would kill him where he stood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
it's a difference when you say it and will you do it. That will be the
I fully
$1 million
Jamie
scene.
would.
Yeah, I
fully believe Jamie would do it.
Yeah.
Well, he better get that left hand game going good.
It's just on the subject of Tywin. On the subject of Tywin, Cersei doesn't care that Tywin is dead, but Jamie does. Despite Tywin's many flaws and how much of an asshole he was as a dad, Jamie still loved his father.
I don't think Cersei gives a fuck that anyone died. Like at this point, she doesn't even give a shit that Tommen died.
Yeah. Well, Tommen.
She's still pissed off at him.
Well, Tommen thought he could fly.
I believe I can fly.
Well, he wasn't able to touch this guy.
Okay, all right. So let's back up on shit because we have to because this episode was so much about reminding us of where people are. I want to talk more about that. So it's like okay, we got Bran now. He's at Castle Black.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like they arrived there.
That's just a pit stop.
And Yeah, it's just pissed off, but that's where he is right now. We have John is like, I mean, they're still at Winterfell. It's like I feel that they're going to be heading south because yes, it's like, I mean, their enemies are to the north, like, you know, the White Walkers and whatnot, but Cersei's the threat right now, so I feel like they're going to be heading south. Which is Arya's headed. She's headed south, but I feel that there's going to be an error. It's like because because before this season started, it's like, I mean, there's been trailers and pictures and whatnot. We know that eventually Arya is going to end up back with Jon. We know that. So if she's heading south and he's heading south, that's going to be a thing.
Well, here's how it's going to play out.
Are they all going to go to? Sorry,
John heads to Dragonstone because he's going to get that raven. He's going to broker a truce with Daenerys. Remember, I don't know if any of y'all saw next week's preview, but the one guy from the Vale is like, a Targaryen can't be trusted.
Yeah.
So obviously, John finds out about the dragon glass there.
Now, but
Arya meets back up with her wolf. Now the question is, does she continue her pursuit south, or does she go north and head home? Because she might find out, oh, my brother and sister are at home. Let me regroup with them, and we could all make a master plan.
I have
now that's one question, but here's a more serious question. It's like right now, Bran is the only person that is aware that Jon is a Targaryen.
Well, you want to know who else finds out about that?
Go for it.
Gilly. Gilly's gonna read it in the book. She's gonna find out that what was Jon's supposed father's name? Rhaegar?
Yeah.
Not supposed father. That's
well. Father. I don't know all the Targaryen names, but his marriage was
okay.
His marriage is annulled, and his marriage with Lyanna was official. So that technically makes him the king of the Iron Throne. But Jon doesn't want that shit.
Yeah, Jon ain't about that life.
I was going to say, like,
remember,
you've got
the trailers are going to point
a lot of theories here. Where are you pulling this from?
I'm not going to reveal the source because it's a little spoilerish, so I don't want to divulge. So far, it has played out correct in episode 1.
Okay,
that's what happened at the Freyland.
My thought is that she is going as far west as she possibly can until it circles back around, like she said. I think it was last season. But I think, well, she said that she was going to go as far west as she possibly could. But right now, of course, she's headed south to kill Cersei. But I'm thinking that she gets distracted from killing Cersei by Nymeria, because we see Nymeria in the fucking preview for next episode. So I think Nymeria is going to show up, and basically Arya is going to go like, all right, this is a sign. I got to go home.
Could be. I mean, we all
could be, and I would love to see that. To be perfectly honest with you, I mean, the more Starks I can get together at one point in this season, in the show, I guess, the better for me. Just because, like, the feels. Because each of them have had their own character arc, and that's what I really like about this. Like, I mean, all of them have done their own separate things. It's like, I mean, you've had Jon that's been up at the wall and learned leadership and all this shit, and you've had Arya that's learned how to be a fucking badass, and you've had Sansa that's learned how to play things politically, and the three of them together.
When you think about it, Sansa learned from the best person around in Cersei.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and she actually brought that up in this episode.
So I'm actually looking at some maps, some Westeros maps. I think as badass as Lady Mormont is now, I think Bear Island is going to be what turns the tide. Bear Island is farther north than the only thing that isn't farther north than Bear Island is Castle Black. Like, it is farther north than every other fucking thing on here. Including the Stark Stronghold, whose name I'm forgetting right now, because weed is legal in Nevada now.
That it is.
And then your boy's going to make his grand return. I just don't know what episode. He stopped rowing that boat.
Mm-hmm.
Winterfell. Basically, Bear Island is 2/3 of the way between Winterfell and Castle Black. Like, that's how fucking far north it is. So, yeah.
Yep.
I think that the Mormonts are basically going to literally be probably the strongest force in the army against the undead, because the undead most likely can't make it to Bear Island, but they can make it there.
Indeed.
Well, the dead army has giants.
Yes, and unless they're going to have those motherfucking zombies walk through the water like Pirates of the Caribbean, they can't make fucking ships.
Now the question is, do they still have Hodor? When will he make his grand return?
That would be
shit.
funny.
That would just be depressing.
Look, if he comes back, he's gonna be a right. He's gonna be a white. That's what he's gonna be.
Why'd you have to get racial about this? Fucking racist, Charles.
Shut up, Matt. You know what I'm talking about.
GHT, yes.
WIGHT.
Racist!
You are all bastards.
You know, you understand your camera is so good now, we can see the white hood behind you, right?
Dude,
I'm wearing a blue hoodie, you son of a bitch.
I said behind you.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we can see all that shit.
I mean,
Fucking
ain't you hot
shit.
wearing that fucking hoodie? I'm hot looking at you.
I'm pretty sure that's a burning cross back there somewhere.
yeah, I see it too. I see it.
Hey, we can't make fun of your internet.
We're
just gonna pretend you're racist.
Yeah.
Nothing new there.
Yep, that's a new joke.
Well, everyone else is some racist or whatever.
So, okay, so here, there's a couple theories that I want to talk about. One theory that I think we have...
getting a lot of speculation at this point?
What's that? No, that's just it. It's the theory I want to talk about is an old theory that I think we can officially retire, and that is that Arya is dead and that we're actually watching the waif.
Yeah, it's like, I heard that speculation. I kind of called bullshit on it, like back when it started, like, you know, a year ago. And yeah, that very obviously that's not a thing.
That's just it. There was some backing to it that wasn't even mentioned in that video that I noticed, and that was at one point the waif was talking to Arya, and she's all like, "All right, so what is your name?" And Arya's like, "A girl has no name." She's all like, "What was your name?" And Arya's all like, "Arya Stark of Winterfell." All right, so tell me about this list. The waif asked her about the list and asked her for all the names on the list. So when Arya came to Westeros and started killing motherfuckers on that list, that's not too far outside what the waif might be doing. Because remember, the God with no face or unfit whatever needs a name.
Mm-hmm.
And Arya gave a bunch of fucking names. And so I think the waif, I thought for a while there that the waif was doing what's basically going through that list because Arya had given those names to the many-faced god. However, the reason I no longer believe that is because of the fact that then she went off and killed all the other motherfucking Freys. And those were not names given to the many-faced god.
Yeah.
So I think we can officially retire that particular thought.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, for me, it really wasn't a thought in the first place, but after this, yeah, I'd agree with that.
Well, that's just it. Is that whole fucking episode, at least Arya's part in that episode, was just like, what the fuck? Because she ends up sleeping for 2 days in Lady Crane's fucking bed. We think it's 2 days. It could be more. She wakes up just as the waif shows up. And then she should, by the way, be dead by now, but she's not. And then she ends up falling down fucking stairs, reopening her stitches, and still ends up winning against the waif, who, in theory, had gone through the same fucking training she did, including being blind.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I'm still kind of thinking that a lot of that was literally imagined by Arya. I'm thinking part of that was her fucking imagination. That maybe the waif never existed. Hello?
No, keep talking.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I was going to say that maybe the waif never existed in the fucking first place. That was either Arya snapping or the many-faced god presenting himself to her in another way.
That's a little bit too existential. It's like I don't know if I can go with that. I'm pretty sure the wave existed.
Well, it's either that or really bad writing.
So George R. Martin wrote that.
All right, I think we're going with really bad writing.
Yeah. So what else do we have to say about this episode?
Let's see. Cersei's getting the map made. She's realizing, well, not realizing, but she's communicating that literally she has 4 wars that she fucking has to fight.
Yep.
Or at least like 2 wars on all 4 fronts. Like, basically, she's fucked.
Basically.
But if you really think about it, it's her own damn fault.
Yeah. And here's a thought that I heard Emergency Awesome talking about. Is how much money does the Lannister owe the Iron Bank?
Oh shit, that's a good question.
And they haven't been paying that money back for years. Like they were talking about how they weren't paying it back like back in season 2. So what if the Iron Bank changed sides? What if the Iron Bank's like, fuck the Lannisters? Let's check out this Targaryen chick.
Yeah, but she ain't got no gold neither.
Yeah, but she has the means of
well, fuck it. She'll just send her dragons over there and burn them all.
Lots of money.
True that.
She'll just send Drogon.
I think the Iron Bank would support Jon more than they would support Daenerys.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know, but
will the Iron Bank even make a play next season?
I don't think that's going to really be that big of a deal. It's like, I mean, there's bigger shit to worry about right now.
Yeah, like
money.
Yeah, like like little white-haired, blue-eyed, like ice people with like a lot of dead people following them.
Yeah, slightly important, just a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think the Iron Bank is going to back them. They don't have any collateral.
The collateral is I'll stab you, I'll kill you, and then I'll raise you back up.
The White Walkers open to come to the Iron Bank. That's going to totally be a thing.
But no, I mean, seriously, how is Cersei going to fucking run an army if she can't pay the army?
Mm-hmm. Eventually, they'll realize they're not getting paid, and they might turn on her.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I mean, we've seen it in the trailer. Her army ain't going to last long. They're going to get fried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was that in the trailer?
They're kind of wrong fucked.
They're going to become roasted. Roast kebab.
Well, that's just it.
Just slightly toasted.
That is my wild speculation. My wild speculation is that Euron is actually trying to go get something that hasn't been shown in the TV show yet, and that's the fucking dragon.
Well, it's just like a little. Let's dig more into that. Let's go into wild speculation right now.
If he ends up bringing a fucking something that actually can control dragons, or like in some way harm the dragons, that would be very powerful. That would be something that would be very difficult to ignore for Cersei.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't read the books enough to know what the fucking dragon horn does, but I assume it does one of those two things: hurts or controls dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Deanna would answer that question.
Anyone else have any wild speculations?
Oh, it's a sorceress horn that is used to control dragons.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, like I've always said, the wall is coming down, but it's coming down by a dragon.
Interesting. Like,
Well-
what if like the White Walkers had like some kind of fucking undead dragon?
Yeah, I was thinking that
is
too.
the theory.
I was thinking that too. Yeah.
I've been hearing that theory for a little while. Is that
My theory
one
is
of
this
the
way.
three dragons ends up becoming dying and becoming an undead dragon.
That's where my theory runs. He's
Yeah.
going to kill one of the dragons, and then he's going to bring the dragon back, and then that dragon's going to fight. He's going to shoot fire, but it'll be blue.
Interesting.
And that's how the wall will come down, because in the trailers, Bran is back in Winterfell as well, because of that stupid tree that they could fucking tell that he's in Winterfell. Don't ask me how. I would have never known, but whatever. He gets back home.
Well, yes. Like I mean, it's like we all knew the Starks would eventually back together. I mean, I think anyone who's not an idiot knew that since season 1.
I was gonna
And then
say,
remember, that golden touch is going to play a big factor this season.
with
Mhm.
Sansa there, with Arya there, with Jon there, with Bran there, I think that they're gonna look at each other and go, "How the fuck did 4 of us survive?"
Simple. Simple. One of them didn't survive. He was killed and brought back to life.
Fair enough.
I mean,
And
seriously.
then
I mean,
Sansa got lucky and got the hell out.
To kill those motherfuckers.
Yeah. That's actually totally a fair point.
Because I mean, we had Robb die, we had
Ned
the
die,
other
Mama
side.
Stark die.
Well, I'm
We
talking
had the
just
one
like
die on the
it,
battlefield.
Rickon died too.
Yeah, Rickon died. I mean, out of 7, 4, more than half are alive. That's pretty fucking impressive.
In
I
Game
guess
of Thrones, yeah, that actually is really impressive.
Or you could say 3.5 because Jon did die and come back.
But Jon is
Tomato,
technically not
tomato.
a Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah, technically he's Targaryen. We all know that.
Oh no, he's just a bastard.
He's not a bastard.
He's just a bastard.
He's not a bastard. He's a Targaryen.
Technically,
Good point, Dwight.
that's just it. Is technically, by their rules, he is a bastard. Even though
But
he
he's a
has
bastard
a father,
Targaryen, not a
father
Stark.
didn't claim him, so he's considered a bastard.
Mhm.
Still Targaryen.
Yeah, but you
One
can
big
see
ass
Ramsay
fucking
Bolton
mug.
was still a Bolton
Right.
even before he got the name.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else got any wild speculation?
Charles.
I mean, I was looking. I came up with this theory that after like reading this article talking about the madness of the Targaryen family, like a lot of the male Targaryens have gone completely insane. Do you? It's not really. It is a theory, kind of, but it's also a question. Do you think that Jon is susceptible to that same madness as most of the other Targaryen men?
It would appear
No.
not.
It would appear not.
I would say no because of the fact that Targaryens like to fuck Targaryens.
Oh, inbreeding.
Gee, that's a Lannister thing too.
However, Jon is not the result of inbreeding. He is actually the result of a Targaryen having sex with a Stark. So I'm thinking that Jon is going to avoid that because he's not his own cousin.
Yeah.
As the song goes, I'm my own grandpa.
Okay. What else do we have? Okay, so I'm thinking that, and I know that Lou has a lot of theories, and this kind of flies in the face of them. But I'm pretty sure that John is not going down to Dragonstone. I think he's going to send a Raven in that direction. And then they're going to be like, huh?
Him and Daenerys in pictures are in Dragonstone.
I'm with Lou on this one. We've seen it. We've seen screenshots of it. He's definitely going to Dragonstone.
He's going to Dragonstone. And then he's going to go up north. After Dragonstone, he goes further north, and then he's going to get surrounded. And the question is, how the fuck do they get out of that fight?
Well, okay, my thought is are we sure that it's Dragonstone that the two of them are in?
Pretty sure.
It's somewhere south, that's for sure.
Okay, but...
Yeah, because... I feel like this is like, I mean, Dany has no reason to go north. Her enemy is south, and John's enemy is south. They're going to interact, probably at Dragonstone.
Well, you know, I also have the theory that Jon Snow is going to lay it to her too.
Wait a minute. I thought Dragonstone was south of King's Landing.
Here, let me find it.
So Daenerys would have to go north towards King's Landing, and Jon would have to go south, and they'd sort of meet in the middle.
I'd have to seriously look at the map for that.
Yeah.
They're going to meet in the middle.
Map, and I still don't.
In the middle of the bed.
Oh, there it is. Dragonstone is about halfway down, a little below the fingers. Below the Veil of Aaron, so he's below Robin Aaron and all them. Let me see. I'm still looking for the rest.
No, it's like it's not in this book. It's probably one of the other ones, which is over there, and I'm probably going way over there.
Twins. There's the Neck. There's Barrowland.
Because this is just the first book.
There's White Harbor.
Fuck you.
Don't worry. Hopefully, if it comes to fruition, you'll have the new one by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's... Oh, there it is, King's Landing. Dragonstone is north of King's Landing, yes, but not by much.
Okay, I did not know that. All right. So I guess they are going to have to both go south. All right, then.
Well, that's just it. Is where I was going with that is that I don't think that Jon is going to Dragonstone immediately. Because I think the conversation that they're talking about of whether they're going to back up a Targaryen, I don't know. It just gave me the impression that Jon had not talked to them personally. Because if Jon had talked to them personally, it probably wouldn't be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I think a Raven was sent to Dragonstone, and then they're talking about it, and maybe at a later time, Jon will end up down there.
But see, Dany don't have a maester to catch this fucking thing, so a Raven is kind of useless going to Dragonstone.
Okay. Why? Why do you have to have a maester to send a Raven or to receive a Raven?
The fucking Unscully will probably eat the motherfucker. If not them, the fucking what's the other crew that she got with them? They don't know how to read.
I'm pretty sure that they still know what a fucking Raven is.
Yeah, they think of it as bird food. And then you gotta understand, you got 3 dragons hanging around that fucking castle. I don't think anything is flying in there because they're gonna be scared for their life.
Yeah. The Raven is just flying. Yeah, the Raven is just flying in. I was like, wait, what's that thing over there? Holy shit, that's a dragon. All right, fuck this, I'm out.
Fucking, we seen Drogon likes to barbecue goats. Imagine what he's gonna do to a Raven in air.
I don't know. I think a Raven might be too small for him to even really notice.
That motherfucker notices everything.
I was gonna say, if it ain't a fucking size of a sheep or larger, he probably doesn't fucking care. Like, oh, there's like, huh?
What else we got?
We'll see next week. That's the $1 million. That's the question right there. If
Yeah.
John ends up in Dragonstone next week, well, there's your fucking answer.
Well, we know that that what's her face is going to try and get Cersei to attack King's Landing right away.
Yeah, that's in the preview, but
what's that?
also Mama Snake in that same preview, Mama Snake and Lady Greyjoy get it on.
What?
Lady Greyjoy, Theon's sister, and Mama Snake are gonna make whoopee in a ship.
Okay, that's kind of weird. But okay. Is there anything else?
I kind of covered everything.
I mean, I question for Lou. What would really bring that on? Having Lady Greyjoy and Indira Varma, the actress that plays the mother snake person, whatever. I mean, what would really bring that on?
Don't ask me. I'm not the writers of this show.
I mean,
this show has to give you a little bit of sex every season.
Yeah, that's true. But the thing is, I know Lady Greyjoy tried to seduce Daenerys and she rejected her. So, I mean,
But this time around, it looks like
that went down like that at all. I think they were flirting, and that was it.
But no, in the little 20-second trailer clip that we got, Lady Stan Snake comes on to the Greyjoy. She initiates the first kiss. So if it transpires any further, that we don't know. And remember, we're going to have that big sea battle.
It's Game of Thrones.
I think
there's always sex.
Wait, how many?
It should be called Sex of Thrones.
Game of Sex.
It's just going to be Yara as the only female in that battle, right? So it's going to be her and a bunch of seamen?
On that note, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, for us, like, I mean, it is honestly time to wrap this shit up. It's like we've gone on a little long, but it's like, don't worry, guys. Yeah, we are gonna wrap this shit up, but we will be here for this season of Game of Thrones. If you have anything for us, you can always hit us up at geeksaround@gmail.com, or it's like if you have a message for us, anything you want to bring up on the show, you can give us a call at 801-609-4687, otherwise known as 801-609-GOTR. We'll be here every single step of the way. Until next week, we are ghosts.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.